Good evening. Welcome to the Strongsville High School Top 5% ceremony. My name is Bill Wingler. I'm the principal here at Strongsville High School. And this is an exciting night. I'm very, very happy to, for a couple of reasons, not just because summer's coming soon and we get a break, but also because we get to honor what really is the brightest of the brightest and the best of the best here at Strongsville High School. But what's really special for me about this evening and the fact that it's Teacher Appreciation Week goes hand in hand with the fact that if you're not familiar, when we call up a student, the student will read to you something that they've written about a teacher that inspires them, that has brought them to where they are and has motivated them to achieve as highly as they've achieved. So tonight is really about not only honoring your children for the amazing things they've done, but also honoring the teachers who are equally as amazing who have guided them through this journey. Before we get started, I want to acknowledge a couple people here this evening that are an integral part of our school district. First off, our superintendent, Dr. Cameron Ryba. Two of our assistant principals are here this evening, Mr. Eric Castle and Mr. Sean Collins. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And if you've not been to one of these, the way this works is I call up a student, tell you a little information about their plans after high school, and then they really take it from there. So the first student I'd like to introduce, who will be attending Cornell University with a major in biomedical engineering, is Bhavya Anup.
Okay. Hi, my name is Bhavya, and the teacher that I feel influenced me the most throughout my high school career is Mr. Felton. For me, Mr. Felton helped foster a love not only for the subject of chemistry, but also its application. He truly highlighted how learning isn't an independent act, but rather a collaboration of minds. Working with others and meaningfully speaking to them heightened the amount of knowledge I took away from AP Chemistry last year. He also always takes the time to learn who his students are outside of the classroom. For me specifically, he always asked about tennis and went out of his way to tell me stories I would find interesting. I always look forward to not only the material he taught in class, but also his numerous stories and jokes. AP Chemistry has been one of my favorite classes throughout high school, and Mr. Felton was definitely a major contributor. Thank you.
Our next student, attending Miami University with a major in accounting, Nicholas Begany.
I nominated my fifth grade teacher, Miss Laub. I think she started my whole academic journey. She was the first teacher I had that really pushed me and made me realize my full potential. I remember learning like some basic math, and I had friends that were doing harder math questions. I was like, I want to be like them. So I started working harder. I was picked for a math competition. That was really fun. And then eventually in 7th grade, I was already 2 years ahead of math from most kids. And also, I would like to choose Ms. Laub because her class allowed me to create friendships with people that are still my best friends to this day, and even friends that I may not talk to. I still have the experiences of making friends, and that's just a really important life skill, creating relationships with people. And I think that even like those life skills are more important than any academic thing, and I want to thank Ms. Laub for that.
So I'm going to mix it up a little bit. From now on, so that the teachers can be as uncomfortable as everyone else, we're going to make them come up and stand here while they're being talked about. I've noticed that Mr. Felton came up very slowly, so I'm going to fix that. The next student attending The Ohio State University with a major in business scholar is Audrey Greer. Her honoree is Mrs. Christina Potter.
Changed it up when it was my turn. I kind of wrote a lot, so please bear with me. I have had the honor of knowing Mrs. Potter, or Frau, as we like to call her, for my entire high school career. She was my German 1, German 2, and German 2 teacher, the National German Honor Society advisor, and my current AP German teacher. By fostering my German knowledge freshman year, she unknowingly furthered my dedication and passion of learning German. I was not going to enroll in AP German this year in fear of the class's difficulty and time commitment. However, I soon realized how much I would miss studying German from Frau Potter. I would miss speaking German in and outside of the classroom. Furthermore, visiting Germany this past summer solidified that I made the right choice. I have an indescribable passion for learning German. I feel extremely motivated, even though this class is one of the most difficult I've taken in the past 4 years. It has been a challenging year, yet seeing my improvement from August is extremely rewarding. I would not have been able to make such progress without Frau's guidance. Not only is Frau an educator, she is someone who cares deeply about all of her students. Because of our 3-person class this year, we have been able to learn at a deeper level. She makes it easy to ask questions and somehow is able to understand our broken German. Frau Potter even makes learning grammar fun. I cannot thank you enough, Frau. I will forever be grateful for the past 4 years of studying my favorite language with my favorite teacher.
Excuse me. Our next student attending The Ohio State University with a major in actuarial science is Mr. Gabe Griffiths. He will be honoring Mr. Kevin Klein.
Hi, my name is Gabe, and this is Mr. Klein, obviously. So I just want to say it takes a special type of person to make honors pre-calculus an enjoyable experience, and it takes even more to be the kind of teacher that can teach it and have fun and do it productively at the same time. Mr. Klein absolutely succeeded in this respect, and every day I never knew if we'd be learning something completely alien, like a new math topic, or if I'd be getting sniped with a foam ball from across the class, or if he'd be challenging me to a push-up contest in the front of the class in front of everybody. And although I certainly had fun in his class, it was the respect that he showed his students and his mathematical wizardry that made me choose Mr. Klein today. It's really easy to get overwhelmed in school and feel dumb when you're taking high-level classes, but Mr. Klein's attitude of persistence made me want to keep trying. When I was out of class for 2 weeks due to COVID, I took a pre-calc test on the first day I was back in school, and I don't even remember what my grade was, but I was disappointed with it. But Mr. Klein left a note on my test telling me that I made a great comeback from being sick, and it showed me that he was paying attention. And it made me feel like I could recover from missing those lessons and still perform in his class. If I'd received a test that just had a grade scribbled at the top of the page that day, like many teachers would give, I would have been dejected, but Mr. Klein took the time out of his day to perform the smallest action that shows he was invested in my learning and well-being. It was actions like this, which continued throughout the year, that earned Mr. Klein great respect from me for what he does. This year, after I was no longer technically his student, Mr. Klein and I kept talking, and he even challenged me to another competition, and it was pull-ups this time. And the deal was that if I won, I got to call him by his first name, so thank you, Kevin.
Our next student, attending the University of Cincinnati with a major in medical sciences, is Sanjana Katiyar, honoring Mrs. Karen Swanson.
We do. As I reflect back on all the remarkable teachers I've had the privilege to learn from during my time at Strongsville City Schools, one teacher particularly stands out for me, Miss Swanson. Miss Swanson is more than an English teacher to me. She has been a mentor and a friend who has instilled the joy of living life curiously and to always keep asking why. With each class discussion and debate, I was captivated by Miss Swanson's extensive knowledge and articulation. Her candidness and raw approach to life has opened me to a whole new world of perspectives. Miss Swanson has helped me not only grow as a writer, but also as a person. She has encouraged me to always challenge myself and strive to achieve more. She became the person I could come to for anything and everything. The minute I entered her classroom, all my worries and stresses disappeared. She greets every student with a warm smile and a joyful chuckle each and every day. No matter what Miss Swanson might be going through, she always gives it all for her students and has always encouraged me to push myself beyond my perceived boundaries and become the best version of me. Miss Swanson has inspired me to strive for excellence, both inside and outside of the classroom. The lessons I've learned from Miss Swanson will stay with me beyond just my high school years. Thank you, Miss Swanson, for the significant impact you have had on my academic and personal life. I will forever be grateful for you.
I'm not jumping.
Sure. Next, attending Elon University with a major in acting, Aubrey Kosis, who will be honoring Mrs. Vicki Eicher.
Throughout my 4 years at Strongsville High School, I've had the wonderful opportunity to have Miss Eicher as my teacher. Under her instruction, I've grown enormously as a vocalist and musician, in addition to gaining performance experience and making wonderful memories that would not be possible without the dedication of Miss Eicher. She stays after school for a cappella groups and the musical, shows up at 4 a.m. on Saturdays to spend 12 hours at a show choir competition, and enthusiastically accompanies any musician wanting to perform a solo. She has given me the skills I need to succeed in my future career in the arts, as well as demonstrated to me how to be a successful, caring, and devoted leader. I appreciate how she values dedication and persistence in learning and invests in each and every one of her students, while simultaneously creating an environment that fosters lifelong friendships. I could not be more grateful to have Ms. Eicher as a teacher and mentor. Thank you for all that you have done to educate me, support me, and help me grow into the person I am today.
Come on, friend.
Next, attending Ohio University with a major in geography, Sophia Kuhar, honoring Mrs. Alyssa Hostler.
so this is Mrs. Hostler, and she's honestly one of the most loving people I know. I love her to death. So throughout my 4 years at high school, whoa, not my speech. Okay, now my speech. So tonight I'm thanking Mrs. Hostler for being there for me. Last year, Mrs. Hostler and I braved AP research together. She's a ray of sunshine, and she helped me through all of the challenges of that class, because trust me, that class was wicked. I had so many challenges, but Miss Hostler pushed me like never before. I've never been challenged the way she has, because she would poke holes in every argument I made. Like, she was always there to be like, hey, but did you think about this? And like, maybe you should reconsider everything. And yet she was never mean to me. She was always the sweetest person. Whenever I was struggling with something outside of the classroom too, she was always by my side. I can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations on doing what you did.
Attending The Ohio State University with a major in biomedical engineering, Daniel Lee, honoring Mr. Steve King.
Hi guys, I'm Daniel, and this is my coach. I just gotta say, I would like to give that up to Mr. Stephen King, because through my 4 years of golfing with the team for varsity golf, he grew my passion for the sport. He taught me about responsibility. He helped me create who I am today, and we made some of the fondest memories of my high school career together. He helped me love the sport by always making me feel welcome and treating me with the respect of an athlete, even though I was not very good at first. He taught me responsibility by having me play at a higher level and lead my younger teammates as an example, which, to my surprise, I truly enjoy doing. In every step of my varsity experience, my coach was always there for me to help me build a mindset about how to go about certain obstacles on the course, which I eventually began taking off the course too. He taught me to be more optimistic about my rounds, and that is when I realized that the same applies to real life. There are going to be bad shots, bad holes, bad rounds, bad weeks, but getting mad at yourself or the course will not fix anything. This is just a game, and you need to get better with hard work if you want to win the game. Without my coach's guidance, I would not have become the person I am today. Lastly, I want to thank Coach King for all the memories. He is one of the sweetest people I have ever met and has genuine passion for his team. He's bought the team lots of really good food. One time he got us large pulp smoothies right before a tournament. Probably not the greatest idea. But I don't regret it. The mango smoothie was really good. This was just out of like his own passion for the team. So that's just like goes to show. And then over the summer, I would ache with anticipation just to go to golf practice because how much I love being there. And I truly think Coach King's presence is a very huge reason for this. This team has really become a part of me, and I will always look back at these memories and smile. But one more time, I would like to thank Mr. King for everything he's done for me, truly.
Next, attending The Ohio State University with a major in computer science, Conlon Mayberry, honoring Mrs. Kelly Rose.
Hi. Why I chose Mrs. Rose to represent my top 5% teacher of choice. I had the pleasure of taking Mrs. Rose's CCP 1010 and 1020 writing class my sophomore year. My sister Riley was in her class a few years earlier and did well, so I felt I had almost an advantage going in. Boy, was I wrong. When I looked and saw one of the worst grades I ever got on anything for my first paper, it was a huge, wake-up call. I thought it was going to be a cakewalk, and that just did not end up as I thought it would. But you know what? Actually, I think that's what made her my teacher of choice today, was because she didn't allow resubmissions, no redos, no extra credit, nothing. And it was really just it was a huge wake-up call for me. I need to get my act together and stuff, because that's never happened to me before. That was just and this is my sophomore year, so I was pretty young, pretty just, go with the flow, whatever happened. I usually got A's on stuff. It wasn't a big deal, but this was so much different for me. And what really intrigued me about Miss Rose was genuinely anytime, I swear she's available anytime. We Zoom call after school all the time. She helped me with my essays, and I didn't fall below a 96 my junior year, because you can say I did a good job on my essays, but really it's the teacher that makes the student. And I think she did just such a great job helping me. And and apart from that, her personality, genuinely she's so nice, caring, probably one of the funniest teachers I've ever had. She talks to us like she's a teenager, and it's just it's very relatable, and it's just awesome having her as a teacher. So one last thank you for helping me through this experience.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Next, attending The Ohio State University with a major in aviation, Case McIntyre, who will be honoring Mr. Kyle Steller.
Hello, everyone. I chose Mr. Seller because Mr. Seller is a particular individual who will stop at nothing to see each student reach their full potential in his engineering class. This is exactly what he did with me as a student these past 2 years. He always pushed me in the classroom to continue to further my understanding of engineering concepts and theories. Being a hands-on class was an aspect that really motivated me to also learn about why things work the way they do, as an aspect that was articulated perfectly into the classes that he taught. I really enjoyed the digital electronics class that he had, where we worked with a lot of circuits and a lot of electrical systems. And then the engineering design and development class, which was a capstone class where we learned about the design and development process of any sort of engineering project and how that all filtered into the big umbrella of engineering. He pushed me to excel in my life, and I appreciate all Mr. Steller has done for me. His impact will be a long-lasting one in my life. Thank you.
Attending Ohio University with a major in journalism, Lola Marana, and she is honoring Mrs. Vicky Eicher.
Throughout my experience at Strongsville City Schools, I have encountered many great educators. However, when asked to choose one that impacted me most, Ms. Eicher stood out for more reasons than one. I have had Ms. Eicher since my freshman year, and I have had the privilege of being able to grow my musical abilities with her for these past 4 years. However, her guidance in my choir classes was not my reason for choosing to mention her. Ms. Eicher creates close relationships with her students and gets to know them all on a personal level. From discussing how my ballet classes are going to helping me with issues I have gone through, she has always been there for me and helped put a smile on my face. She is a phenomenal mentor both in music and in life, and she has been an outstanding teacher that I am grateful to have had. Thank you.
Attending Bowling Green State University with a major in business management, Brandon Perkins, honoring Mrs. Jeanette Quinn.
Hi everyone, my name is Brandon Perkins, and I have had the pleasure of having a lot of amazing educators throughout my time at Strongsville City Schools. However, one educator has stood out to me as being the most influential person that I've encountered throughout my years in Strongsville, Mrs. Queen. Mrs. Queen. I had her in 6th grade math a long time ago. However, one thing that really stands out to me about her is how she always cares about her students. Anyone who has ever taken one of her classes knows that she always puts her students first, and she really cares about your well-being and you as a person. And even after you finish her class, after 6th grade, she's always there for you, supporting and motivating you and pushing you to reach your highest potential. Even in 6th grade, when I did not see my potential, she did, and she pushed me, and that is why I am here today as in the top 5%. I know that without her support and encouragement, I would have never been able to be in this position today. Thank you.
Attending The Ohio State University with a major in engineering, Alexander Rupp, who is honoring Mrs. Laura Williams.
All right, I'd like to start off at to say that English has not been my favorite subject throughout my high school career. I've never liked taking any English classes, and this is not mine either. It makes me in bed, so it's okay. So I chose Mrs. Williams because Mrs. Williams has really persuaded my decisions on what I want to do in life and how I write, really. I've had the pleasure of having her for my CCP 1010 and 1020 class. I Simple Solutions and Worthy Wise in elementary school were a struggle, and I just think back when I was in her class thinking, wow, I could have did so much better if she was there to help me. In class, we'd have work periods to complete tasks or catch up on assignments, yet every time we managed to get nothing done. We play Uno sometimes, and we just gossip on some random subjects. Keep on the we just forget how time would fly in that class, and then we'd have essays due at midnight, and me and Ben never got those done. She had to extend this deadline every single time, and she's just great for that. I got an A, so thank you, Miss Williams. And I'd just like to say you're truly one of a kind, and I couldn't thank you enough. And even though I don't have a works cited page this time, I can promise these words weren't plagiarized.
We got 2 weeks. Yeah. So, you guys are killing me. No, we were looking on the page. I got you. Next, attending The Ohio State University with a major in engineering is Benjamin Rupp. Honoring Mrs. Caitlin Che.
Hi, everyone. Math has always been my favorite subject, which has led me to choose engineering as my future career. Junior year, I saw Computer Science A as a class choice, which gives students the basics of computer programming. Little did I know, Miss Che, the substitute teacher I had in 8th grade, was teaching the course. At first, she seemed like that mean, loud teacher that no one would like. But it turns out she's really nice and approachable to her students. Miss Che is also really good with jokes, so if you ever need to let off some steam, just go say hi to Miss Miss Che. Some days seem unbearable to get through, but most of the time, Miss Che has something to bring to the table with her review games, food, or class activities to make class more bearable. Known by her many names throughout the school, Miss Cheeseburger has always been patient enough to work with me and deal with me in class when I was obnoxious and difficult with her. To say the least, Miss Che brightens the mood to the end of my school day, keeping high school a little more interesting. System that outprint, thank you, Miss Che, for helping me continue to succeed and bringing your A game every day.
Attending Northeastern University with a major in computer science, Avery Scullin, honoring Mrs. Alyssa Bartell.
Hello there. My junior year, I had the pleasure of taking AP Lang with Miss Bartell. That was my first AP English class, and to be honest, I was kind of worried that I wouldn't be able to hack it. Going in, I heard horror stories from other students about feeling like this was some totally new beast because it was an AP class, but Mrs. Bartell taught me to have confidence in my writing and academic abilities. We got to have some great class discussions about some of my favorite books I've ever read for an English class, and to this day, I'm still that one weirdo who liked the Scarlet Letter. More than that, she was always there for me outside of the classroom. She helped me out with some scholarship and college essays, including that college and career project that we all like to joke about. It might have been hard, but I still remember sitting down and deciding to choose 3 reach schools to do my research on, and it was incredibly relieving to hear one of my educators believe in me that I might actually achieve my goals. On top of that, you also listen to all of my corny and sometimes not so funny jokes. Miss Bartel, thank you for supporting me and believing in me when I needed someone.
Attending Case Western Reserve University with a major in biochemistry, Brandon Semenek, honoring Mrs. Alana Bendetta.
Hello? Okay. Okay, so I want to begin this speech by expressing my sincere gratitude to all the wonderful people that have assisted me in my academic journey. I believe that this school contains some of the best teachers that the world has to offer, and choosing one has been an extremely difficult decision of mine to make. However, do not let this undermine the greatness of Madame Bendetta. She is by far one of the most compassionate individuals I've ever met, and her ability to nurture and teach is second to none. Madame, there has never been a doubt in my mind that you have ever faked anything. Your love for teaching is always apparent, and even when we drive you crazy with all of our nonsense, you have never shown any of us disdain in your annoyance. Whether it is through teaching or being our lovely French mom, your overbearing nature has introduced me and others to French cultures in many ways I never thought I would experience. I love listening to your stories, your opinions, and your genuine love for all things good. Even you can find the good in the bad, and that is something I absolutely adore about you. Whenever I would write to you in our journals, I would always try so hard, and then I would realize after rereading it that it kind of sounded like a third grader putting blocks together to formulate incomprehensible words. But those incomprehensible words, somehow you could always put them together and make it look like I could write. I'm not even that good at English, so when I was going into French, I was kind of like taken aback because, man, I suck. However, you took time in writing back to me after every journal entry and sparing even a second of your sparse time to listen to what I have to say. I appreciate your genuine honesty and all the therapy days I've had with you. You have never disregarded my voice, and that I have never overlooked. It is quite strange. I think back to it now, and I can't believe I've made it so far, and I couldn't have done it without you. I find it funny how, as I'm writing this at 1:13 p.m. the day of this speech, I still have missing assignments that I need to get to. I promise I will do them as soon as this is over, and I promise I won't use Google Translate. Madame, thank you for listening to me once again, and on behalf of all of your French students, we love you.
Attending Cleveland State University with a major in marketing and finance is Sophia Simmel, honoring Mrs. Jenna Namick.
I selected Mrs. Namick as my teacher. She's my Okay, she's my DECA teacher, which is a business class at the high school, and it's by far my favorite. So having Mrs. Namick as my DECA teacher for the past 2 years has been amazing. She teaches in a way that is engaging and entertaining. She likes to have little moments in class where we can have breaks, or she inserts little fun things. Like when we're doing presentations, she has brain breaks where students can select if they like Chick-fil-A or Cane's more, and the whole class like goes into an argument. She brings her dog sometimes, she turns the lights off. She just makes class so much fun. I always have a great time in DECA, whether it's inside or outside at events or competitions. We go to Columbus for state competitions or field trips, and it's just a great time. With her as my teacher, I have learned so much about the business world, and I'm even more passionate to pursue my business degree. Mrs. Namick is one of the best teachers I've ever had, and not to mention the most stylish one as well. She is someone I can so easily talk to, and I will never forget all the memories I have made in her class. Thank you for everything, Mrs. Namick. I'll miss you.
Attending the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill with a major in biology, Raina Sinha, honoring Ms. Vicki Keller.
If you know anything about me, you know that ever since Spanish 1 with Senora Keller my freshman year, my preferred greetings have become hola, adios, and this year, ciao, ciao. But what makes Senora Keller a phenomenal teacher is how much she's a great person, and she's always out there to help her students no matter what she's going through herself at the time. When I was a sophomore and junior, I didn't have Senora Keller for Spanish, but her door was always open. All I had to do was pop in, and no matter how long I ranted about school, college, family, or just anything in general, she was always there to listen to me, give me thoughtful advice, and most importantly, tell me it would be okay. This year, even now in AP Spanish, I'm always late to orchestra because I'm in Senora Keller's room talking to her because she's just so interested in my life and how she can help me out. So even though whenever I see a pen in college, I'll think bolígrafo, and whenever I see someone snapping their fingers, I'll think venga, like Senora Keller always says. I think one of the things that I'll remember most and miss the most about high school is Senora Keller's care and just genuine warmth.
Attending The Ohio State University with a major in nutrition, Casey Swiger, honoring Ms. Caitlin Cha.
So much to say about Ms. Cha. I had the pleasure of being one of her students my junior year for AP Computer Science. And while I'm not pursuing a career in this field, I have to say it was one of my favorite classes I've taken throughout my years here. This was due largely to her teaching style. It was so unique. She really relates to students more than any other teacher that I've had, and this is why I've chosen her today. I think that she has a special connection with a lot of students here that feel safe around her, and that makes the educational experience that much more valuable. This personal connection made the class much more enjoyable and made myself and other students less stressed and more able to have fun. Big shout out to Ms. Che. You inspire all the children.
Attending Case Western Reserve University with a major in biomedical engineering, Krupa Venkatesan, honoring Ms. Vicki Keller.
Hi everyone, my name is Krupa. So during my senior year in high school, I had the privilege of being taught by Senora Keller, my Spanish teacher. Senora Keller was more than just a teacher to me. She was a mentor who supported and guided me and other students in many ways. And what made Senora Keller stand out to me was her ability to connect with each student on a personal level. She took the time to understand our individual strengths, weaknesses, and interests, and she made an effort to learn about our lives, cultures, and backgrounds, and as a result, she was able to foster a classroom environment where her students felt respected, valued, and understood. And moreover, Senior Keller approached her students with compassion and empathy all the time, and she was always willing to provide extra support, whether it was clarifying doubts or offering words of encouragement, like Raina said. Her kindness and understanding made a genuine difference in my life, and I'll always remember the times she went out of her way to offer me support during difficult times that I went through. And Senora Keller's dedication to her students' success, both academically and personally, is truly admirable. And she has shown that education is more than just the transfer of knowledge, but rather it is about building relationship with students and fostering a caring and inclusive environment. Thank you, Senora Keller, for being an exceptional teacher and mentor.
Attending the Rochester Institute of Technology with a major in computer science, Marissa Ventresca, honoring Mr. Andrew Heyer.
So I want to apologize in advance. I guess I didn't get the memo when writing this. I made it somewhat of a lengthy narrative, so yeah, sorry. Okay. One time I stepped into Mr. Heyer's office during the school day. I had been phasing in and out of noticing my surroundings when something caught my eye. Above the desk, I saw a little poster with a quote that I will loosely state, "Every kid is one caring adult away from a success story." I immediately noted that I liked the piece of paper and thought about its choice of word, success. This is something that I, and I feel everyone else in this room, have been vigorously pushing myself to achieve very early on. And something only recently I discovered that it is not what I thought it was. In 8th grade, near the end of the year, I auditioned for the symphony orchestra and chamber strings in front of Mr. Heyer. I thought going into it that the outcome would determine my skill. When I received the news that I was accepted into both, there was brief respite and then right back to feeling like I had to prove myself endlessly once again. Playing in orchestra for my 4 years of residency, I recognized that something had changed in me. I felt at ease, not lazy or unmotivated, but at ease and impassioned simultaneously, but without that twinge of expected disappointment that had followed many other challenges in my life. Mr. Heyer had this quiet way of showing that he had belief in my skill, no matter where I sat or any mistakes that I made. Eventually, I became the section leader and the concertmaster of both orchestras. This subconscious feeling became more conscious to me. He believed in every single one of us. And no matter our intention, he had faith in our ability to find purpose in what we do and every piece of music that we played. That was essentially crucial to my outlook, giving me that silent confidence that neither came from false pretense nor undermining my ability at any point, but rather an inherent faith in my ability, something that I lacked for the longest time. Questioning yourself is easy. Even if countless times that you have proved that you are good enough, there will always be that voice in the back of your head that it was luck and that it might not happen again. Mr. Heyer, thank you for believing in the talent and determination that was hidden to me and helping me trust myself when it was easy to lose hope and fall into doubt. I can now both celebrate and clearly see that all of my success have been of my own volition, but having the trust of an excellent orchestra conductor when I couldn't recognize it myself pushed me to the leap of faith I needed. Thank you again, and congratulations on leading our schools to be recognized as one of the best communities for music education.
Attending The Ohio State University with a major in engineering, Caden V, honoring Mr. Aaron Phelps.
Hello, I'm Caden. I had Mr. Phelps sophomore year for AP Human Geography. His class was my favorite class in all of high school, all of middle school, even elementary school. The one thing that stuck out to me from his class was how he motivated us and what he called the third quarter slump. I remember being very unmotivated come the second semester of my sophomore year due to a variety of reasons. However, I remember Mr. Phelps motivating me to get back in the groove. That's something I definitely could have used this year. Senioritis hit me pretty bad, and anytime I felt like maybe not doing one more assignment, I'd think about Mr. Phelps' third quarter slump speech, and it held me together the rest of the year, at least until now. It was always a good mood buff walking into his class every day. Traditionally, it is not uncommon, I'm sure many of us students have done it before, to accidentally call a female teacher their mom. But Mr. Phelps is the type of guy you might accidentally call dad. Thank you, Mr. Phelps, for being the GOAT.
Nobody wants to hear that. Attending Cleveland State University with a major in computer science, Isaac Zabarski, honoring Mrs. Laura Williams. Mandy.
Hello everyone, my name is Isaac, and I felt that over the last 4 years of education, I primarily liked STEM classes such as math and computer science, so English was never really one of my favorite subjects. However, I had a teacher in 10th and 11th grade that made English one of my favorite subjects in English 10 Honors and CCP English 1010 and 1020. Mrs. Williams has helped me express my thoughts on paper cohesively while still maintaining a good attitude. I've had a lot of fun in the classroom due to her efforts to make the class engaging and effective. I especially enjoyed our class discussions over writing styles because you use comedic real-life anecdotes to sell us the main idea. One time, we were talking about the potato famine in Ireland and how we could write a proposal out of that. Although our evidence was more based on imagination, it really helped sell the concept of how to write an effective proposal. And so, Mrs. Williams, I wish I could have you for another year or two because you have definitely made my years of English enjoyable.
So today I was pulling up the information on the top 5%, attempting not to destroy too many names, practicing, and I started looking at some data because I was curious, what does it take to get in the top 5%? And there were 3 students tied for that last spot. It was really close. And the student who was 1 spot away had a 4.648 GPA, which means that student didn't make the top 5%. The 24 students who are in this room took collectively over 100 AP courses and exams at this high school. So at Strongsville High School, saying you're in the top 5% really means something. It's not easy to do. So if we could, let's give another round of applause for the top 5%. So before I say a few closing words, I would like to give a special thanks to a couple guys in the back that make this happen. We have a lot of award ceremonies, and they are here quite a bit. Mr. Scott Benson and his team, and Mr. Ray Chipkus. Thank you, gentlemen. I'd like to thank our board members, Mrs. Bissell and Mrs. Howsam, who I saw sneak in, so I calling them out for being here. Thank you. So, as I mentioned when I started, this is Teacher Appreciation Week, the whole week, and it's very appropriate that we have this ceremony because a lot of what you heard tonight wasn't about academics. It goes without saying that if you're in this room as a parent or a child, your children are really smart. They're going to do very well. Teachers really get credit for test scores, right? And they get credit for achievement and ACTs and end of course exams and all those exams that we take. But the reality is what you heard tonight was a recurring theme that I've now heard every time I've been to one of these. They cared enough to leave their door open, which is why you saw teachers from elementary school up here and teachers who had one of these teachers a year ago or 2 years or 3 years ago. They left an impact. And yes, academically that's very important, but you heard they tell jokes, they make me laugh, I know they care. They play Uno, push-up contest, they bring in therapy dogs. And really what this is about, teaching isn't just about being able to teach calculus and engineering and CCP English. It's about relationship forming. It's about motivating. And that's why you heard the theme multiple times. This isn't my favorite subject, but this teacher made me feel motivated. I thought this class was going to be easy. Boy, was I wrong. This teacher made me resilient, made me stronger, made me better. And that's really what teaching is about. Teaching is as someone who's been a teacher, and now as someone who works with teachers, it's a very difficult profession. It requires a lot of love and a lot of passion, even at the high school level, not just elementary. So, in addition to the achievement of these students, I'd like a round of applause for the wonderful teachers at Strongsville High School. And certainly last but not least, students, you wouldn't be here without your teachers, but you also wouldn't be here without your family, your parents, your grandparents, your surrounding family that has supported you, that drove you to rec basketball practices and took you to violin practice and has sat outside with their car running in the snow while you were in those practices. So students, please give your parents a round of applause. They've deserved it. Finally, thank you for coming. I am tremendously proud of this class. They have overcome the pandemic, as you heard some of them talking about doing Zoom. It feels like it was 1,000 years ago, but it was only 2. They've been through a lot. They really have. They've come out resilient. They've come out stronger. They've come out better. And they are, since I've been here, this was the highest GPA average of the top 5% since I've been here, which isn't that long, but it's still something to be proud of. They are stronger and better for what they've been through, and I think they're going to make you very proud. Thank you, everyone. I'm all you got. Good night.